Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is, wherever you are, welcome to the Good Values podcast. In this episode, I'm going to be talking to someone who I met 3 years ago, and it was kind of a chance meeting where we were both in a really large lobby area that was filled with people, and I'd sat down at a table with a lady who I didn't know, and I started talking to her, and then out of nowhere, this gentleman comes and sits down, and we all get talking, and it turns out that he's not only on the same course as I am, he's in the same year as I am, and he's also from the same town as I am. And we did this in a separate town from where we both live. So it was quite a coincidence when we met, and it was pretty humorous, at the time. Since then, I've learned a lot about his ability, his skills, and his kind of careful consideration about himself and the world around him. And I really appreciated being able to sit down and talk to him because we are good friends, and I really love talking to him as often as I can. So, okay, this episode is with John Hughes, and here it is. If you don't mind, would you be able to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yeah. Okay, Simon, yes. I'm John Hughes, and I'm basically a maker of things. Don't call myself an artist or anything else. And I've made things since I was a young child. And that's what I still do, whether it's a painting or a house or a car or a motorcycle. I make things. That's what I do.
And you've done that all your life, is that correct? Or is it from a certain age that you started focusing more on being a maker of things?
No, I've done it all my life since I was a baby.
Yeah, excellent. And is there anything more specific? Are you more inclined to drawing or painting or sculpting? Is there any specific discipline that you're more drawn to than others?
Yes, drawing really, because it's difficult to make something without having a plan or a drawing. My father used to, when I was small, I'd say, "Can you make me one of these?" He'd say, "Make me a drawing." So you've got to have a drawing to work to. So that's how that came about. But I've drawn since I was, 2-year-old or even younger.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
My relatives, my auntie, my grandparents, they used to keep all the old Christmas cards for me to draw on the back, which was plain, because you couldn't get in. I was born in 1945, which was at the end of the Second World War, and you couldn't get sketchbooks, or you could hardly get pencils, but you had to make the best of what you had, and that's what it was. And I enjoyed it. And also did my family. People used to say to my auntie, is he any trouble? No, she said, no. Give him a pencil and a piece of paper and you don't hear anything from him for hours and hours.
Excellent.
So it pleased everybody, including myself. I would invent things for myself. As I say, a maker of things, you could also call it an inventor of things. What I didn't have, or what I couldn't get, I invented. People didn't have any money, and kids were poor, and there wasn't a lot of socialising. We lived in communities, which you don't see these days. Everybody in the community or the village which you lived in was your auntie or your uncle. You were all related. Not genetically, but you were definitely related. We helped each other out. And that's how it was. And that's how I grew up. And And for play friends, I didn't have many. My auntie tried to find me some where they lived, and there weren't that many. But I would invent my own. I would make my own friends. I would draw them, I'd cut them out, I'd colour them, I'd dress them. I'd sew. I used an old sewing machine, and I'd make the clothes, and they were real people to me. And that still goes for today, as you know, Simon.
I was going to ask, when it comes to making things, is there things which you're more inclined to make? Are you more drawn to portraiture or landscape or imagine things, or is it a bit of everything? I mean, what's really captured your interest creatively?
Well, as I said, during the time I was born, there was no toy shops at all, or anything like that. The best you could get for a child was some paper and crayons. Well, I did my share of that, but what I need, if I said I wish I had a model airplane, I'd make one.
Wow.
If I wish I had a little joinery set or a hammer, I'd make one. And that's what I did, and that's what I still do.
So you must have the latest iPhone, I can imagine.
Sorry?
You must have the latest iPhone if you fancy one. I'll make one. I will make the iPhone,
Yeah.
whatever the model is.
I wish I could, but no, that technology has passed me by.
Yeah.
I don't like this technology, Simon.
No.
I think it's just taken away from what we have as human beings and our relationship together. We are tribal animals.
Yeah.
And there's a great value in that. That's where the protection is.
Yeah.
And the care and the nurture which you need to live. Everybody does. Every human being does. Every animal does.
Yeah.
Come to that. You need that support, which is missing today, as you so well know, Simon.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you've seen it for yourself. So that's what it's all about.
My experience of seeing your work, I mean, if you'll forgive me, this could be inaccurate, but I was hoping to discuss things like, I see your portraiture and how strong you do the likeness of people when you paint and draw people, and also surrealism, which I don't know if you're, aware that that's what people see in your work, but I see surrealist influences in your work and just creatively, things that are conjured from the imagination and the emotions coming out in your artwork, whether it's a sculpture or a painting or a drawing. I've noticed those things more than landscapes, but I think that's only because of maybe the time that I've known you. I haven't seen you do landscapes, whereas I'm imagining you've experienced that just as much as any other type of work. Is that right?
Well, if you had it done, Simon, you would have seen the same thing in my landscapes. They're exactly the same. Surreal, larger than life, let's say.
Yeah.
Because everything is to me. It always was. Well, when I was small, I was tiny, and everything was larger than life, literally. But and I knew it, and I valued that, and I miss it badly. But that's why I try to replicate it either in a drawing or a painting. Again, what I haven't got, I will make, or I will try to make. I'll give it my best shot, if you like. I need those things around me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what you were mentioning earlier, I was going to say about us being tribal and social species, so that we do need these connections with each other in this network of friends and acquaintances to make sure that we're all bonding and communicating strongly is something which I spoke with Petra about, and you know Petra, and her and I discussed these things. Coincidentally, she mentioned the same distaste for technology and the same value towards community.
Yeah.
So it is a value from an older time, which I think it's being, I could be wrong, but I think that the younger generation is starting to rekindle an interest in community that way, which my generation and a little bit younger lost, and maybe my parents' generation lost a little bit due to television and the internet and this new technology just marching forward.
Yeah.
I speculated with Petra, and I'm going to ask you the same thing. I wonder if it's a case that it's how you use the technology, and we've had an unhealthy relationship with the television, with the internet, with our phones, and if we used it more wisely and effectively, like you and I do, where we use it to speak and share information and ideas, that it would be a much more beneficial and creative platform than what it is at the moment. What do you think?
Absolutely, yes. And I totally agree. I have seen the signs in youngsters. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yes, there are signs. I've seen them, which I'm glad to see.
Me too.
I'm really glad to see.
Yeah. Makes you more optimistic, doesn't it? Because it seems quite dire sometimes, the loss of culture and connection between people, but I still see a glimpse of hope for the future.
Yes, yeah. For a long time I couldn't see any.
No.
At all. It was going in the wrong direction. And I've taught children, drawing, singing, music, whatever you like, over the years, and I've seen the changes in the children. They've all taken to what I've taught them. They've all valued it, and they've carried on through the rest of their lives.
Brilliant.
It's interesting, isn't it, Simon?
Yeah.
It's something to push you forward or drag you forward, even in the worst times.
Yeah.
That's interest, isn't it?
Absolutely.
That's the value in it. Not selling it for millions of pounds. It's being able to see the benefit in others.
Yeah.
That fascinates me.
With me saying that this is called the Good Values podcast, what is it that you value in art that you see?
What do I value in art?
So say if you visit a gallery or a museum and you view art, what do you value? What do you look at and think, this I think is what I value in art of others?
The skills, Simon. The talent. I don't know whether it's skill or talent. I can't differentiate between the two, but it's the skill. It's the talent. It's being able to do it. I think it's an innate quality myself that some have. Although there's other genres of art whereby you don't need any skill or talent. True. Abstract art, for instance. Okay, you need a bit of a grounding, but you could get by making abstract or patterns or whatever. But the real art, as I call it, like Leonardo da Vinci and all the old ancient ones,
The masters.
Yes, and even. Well, I'm very influenced by the Impressionist and Post-Impressionist periods. That's the period for me.
Yeah.
Whereby it turned more to effect rather than a photograph.
Yeah.
You could feel yourself there. In the landscape or the light, in my, and I wrote about myself and, like an introduction, I've said, I paint with vigor, with intention, with passion, if you like, and I paint in the electrifying colours that excite me, or excite my brain, if you like.
Yeah.
And that's what makes them surreal, Simon,
Mm.
is that love for those colours.
Yeah.
There's something magical about them.
I have noticed that with your work, is that it's like a heightened reality, like a heavily saturated brightness and intensity of colour.
Yeah, it's so exciting to me. I can't really control it. And that's why it goes to the surreal, you see. But there's nothing wrong with that. I don't see it. It doesn't. I don't think it fails because of it. I think it benefits because of it. I mean, I don't like anything I don't. I do. I paint or draw. None of it is any good to me. It's not good enough. And I'll paint something. I painted Rutland Castle. I've done it years ago, but I tried it recently, and no, I didn't like it, so I put them all away. And I was looking at them a couple of weeks ago and seen them from, must be 2 years. I thought, crikey, that's good.
Yeah.
But it was the colours that made it good. The water and the building, the brick, you know. I mean, they do excite me. They are electrifying colours.
Yeah.
Well, they're photons, aren't they? But yes, I like it, Simon. I like colour.
Absolutely. Well, I do credit you with teaching me more about how to make abstract art than any tutor and any schooling that I've received. And that was that one conversation that we had on the phone where we discussed, it was when we'd watched the film The Gleaners and I, and we were discussing gleaning and old-fashioned sensibilities. And we both connected with that documentary quite well. And it was a great conversation. But in that conversation, you discussed with me how to actually probe your thoughts and feelings in order to bring out something abstract which is true and speaks of truth, as opposed to doing a practice which just makes a messy image and then trying to hope for something symbolic in that mess. To actually start with something of substance. And that really connected with me. I haven't practiced it yet, but I've always retained it as something which I'm hoping to tap into. And I was going to ask, with modern art, is there anything which you see where you think this adds value to the culture of fine art?
Oh yes, I don't dislike abstract art.
No.
I've nothing against it. I use it myself. But the difficulty with it is you still need skill and talent.
Yes.
You need that hand-eye coordination. It's that wrist movement. It's that hand movement that makes, somebody said to me, good marks, John. It didn't mean I got a lot of marks. It meant I was making good marks. Well, I've done that since a child. I know what nice marks look like.
Yeah.
And that's all there is to it. Just knowing what they look like. And then you once you know what they look like, you can use them in anything.
Yeah.
Anywhere. Abstract, portrait, formal, whatever you like. Classical. They're all the same. It's that hand-eye coordination. Mine works automatically. It always has done.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, but I don't know whether you can learn it. I don't know, Simon. It's a neurological thing.
That was something I was going to ask you next, is if you think any of this can be taught.
Yes, you can teach it to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. You can teach people to paint, to draw, which I do. And they do well.
Do you think you can teach people to see? Because that's one of the things which Bernard
Yeah.
Willems taught. Yeah,
Yeah,
to see
that's
things
what I
truly.
do. I teach
Yeah.
them to see. Yes, it just flows through here into these, through the brush, through the paints, and onto the paper or canvas. I don't particularly like painting on canvas because of my growing up as a child. I used the old Christmas cards. They're smooth.
Yeah.
And I've always liked smooth things. I didn't like rough textures. I never liked rough cloth or textiles,
Yeah.
because when I was little, my mother made me an overcoat out of an old grey blanket, which were all itchy, and
Yeah.
I got sensitive skin, so I don't like them, and I like things smooth.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about it now, because I've been painting on canvas while we've been on this course, Simon, and I've painted on canvas for years, but I don't like it. It's not me, really. I'd rather paint on board or cardboard, and I'm going back to that. I mean, I thought I was being unusual by painting on cardboard and board and things. No, I'm not. There's many. Well, Edvard Munch painted on cardboard, and many others did.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that, but I always thought I wasn't good enough, Simon. So I suppose I've always striven to prove otherwise. I never proved it to myself. I would never be able to do that. So I find now. But sometimes it surprises me what I've done when I look back. I painted that one of using the Scream of Edvard Munch.
Yeah.
And one of my little friends in it.
Yeah.
And I just finished painting. I sat back to have a drink of tea, and I looked at it, and it just nearly knocked me off the chair.
Really?
I thought, crikey, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Because I'm so engrossed in getting the paint on and the lines right
Yeah.
that I don't see anything until after. So it's strange.
I also think that there's a good value in being your own biggest critic, which you very much are, much like I am my own, where I will try to find fault in my own work and not be able to appreciate it until there's distance between you and the piece of work, just like you in years when you'd not seen your own work, and then you all of a sudden appreciate it more. I think there's a good value in having that critical eye. And is that something you can consciously do, or is it something which you can't help? And because I'm trying to bestow that upon others, to teach other people to criticize their own work fairly harshly in order to improve.
I'm stuck with it, Simon. It's a neurological thing. It is in your wiring, Simon, of your brain, the connections that are made. It's all in that, Simon.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is influenced by genetics, which mine is. It gives you ability to do things, and it's up to you to decide how you want to use it. Same for me. I paint. That's only part of it, but I paint and I draw for my own satisfaction. I like to think I see each painting or drawing as a challenge, and if I think I've met the challenge, that's good enough for me. And that's my reason for doing it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't meet the challenge, and but I'll try again and again till I do. But I see it as life is a challenge, as we know.
Yeah.
And we meet it in different ways. Very strange, but everything's strange, Simon. We haven't got the answers to everything, sadly.
No. Before I forget, I didn't ask you, when it comes to painting, what's your preferred medium?
Yes, it's a strange one, this, Simon. Difficult to explain for me. But my favourite medium is poster paints.
Really?
But you could call them, if you wanted to be posh, you could call them gouache.
Yeah.
But no, they're poster paints.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
they are my favourite, and I think I'll be going back to them shortly. They're not as durable, but I've got paintings I did 40 years ago that's still good. I haven't kept many of my paintings. I don't keep them. I sold them as I did. People asked me for them, so I sold them. But no, I kept some of these. It was when I was ill, first ill, seriously ill, mental health, and during that time I painted, and I painted quite a number of paintings, made them, and I kept those for some reason.
Yeah.
Never kept anything else. Strange that.
That does surprise me. I thought it was oils, you see, so I was wrong. I'm glad I asked.
No.
Yeah.
No. I have painted in them, but no. That's my favourite. You'd have to see what I did in poster paints to understand really what I mean by it. Paint is like drawing to me.
Yeah.
It's just thicker,
Yeah.
makes a thicker line. If I want a thin line, I like to use something like a pencil or perhaps a pen now and again. But for the really thick lines, like, quarter of an inch or something, it needs to be a brush to me.
Yeah.
Anything else isn't quick enough.
No. It's hard to find a nib.
I need to get the image down because it's moving in my brain. The image appears, but it's not stationary. It's not fixed like a photograph.
Yeah.
It'll move and it'll disappear when it wants to.
That's interesting.
So I have to be reasonably quick.
Yeah.
I only need a slight distraction and it's gone. So, and I can do that with poster paints because they dry exceptionally quickly.
Right. I've not used them, I need to try that.
Yeah.
They're similar to
they're like
glass,
a chalk, like a chalky finish.
Yeah, I like that.
A matte finish.
Lovely.
I don't like the gloss finish. You get that reflection, that shine.
Yeah.
And sheen. No, I don't like it.
No.
It takes away from the image to me.
Is there a colour that you'll always incorporate into a piece? Is there something where you think, I always need a touch of red, or I always need, this is my, preferred palette or something?
No, I just use the 3 primary colours.
Yeah.
That's all I use. I don't use any of your, I do, obviously, when I feel like it.
Yeah.
But mainly, I only have 3 colours, and that's the primaries. I can mix any colour from those.
Yeah, I do the same. I do appreciate that technique. Yeah.
Obviously, if I want something special, I'll buy, a sap green or something, or yellow ochre or something.
Yeah.
But I normally mix my own from the 3 primaries. And black and white, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so to the 2 questions which I always ask every guest, and this is because it's going to become a theme. It's things which my art mentor asked me every day that I would see her, and I know that every day it can be a relevant question. So I like to ask every artist that I speak to. I know you don't call yourself an artist, but as a creative person and a creator, I think it's relevant. The first is, what's the most beautiful thing you've seen today?
The sun, the sky.
That's amazing. Is this the sunrise, or was it when you woke up and
No,
saw it through the window?
no, the blue sky and the bright sun. I mean, to me, that's what illuminates the colours and everything. And I've been restricted this morning, but I managed to get out, and I need to get out and see that blue sky. Skies amaze me.
Yeah.
There was a sunset last night, like you wouldn't believe,
I
Simon.
filmed it last night. I filmed
Did
it.
you?
It was phenomenal.
Yeah. I would have had to driven away, to get a good view, but I didn't have a chance to take a snap of it. But I mean, I've taken countless photographs of sunsets and sunrises and clouds, Simon.
Yeah.
And when you try to paint a cloud on a sky, you'd never seem to be able to get it right.
No.
But nature does it perfectly.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what shape, colour or whatever. No. It's perfect in every detail.
Yeah.
It doesn't make a funny mistake, does it?
No, but there are curious things, because I saw last week, and I photographed this so I can send this to you. I saw a backwards S in the sky, like a big swooping backwards S, and I've never seen that in the sky before. To see like a real stylized kind of swoopy S.
Oh yeah.
And it was very strange. It wasn't a plane. It was just a wisp of a cloud, but it was backwards S.
I noticed. That's good. You see that. I noticed things like that. That's it's that noticing that's the important part.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't see these little magical marks and spaces.
Yeah.
They just pass it by. Oh yeah, it's a house on the side. No, I see the shape of the roof. I see the door. What a fantastic old-fashioned door.
Yeah.
And what gets me is they used in the old days, as I grew up in. Yeah. There was only two colours. That was inside and out for woodwork and whatever, windows and interior. That was like a cream.
Yeah.
And a green.
Really?
Yeah, and inside they'd have a dado line, and the bottom would be green and the top would be cream.
Really? Yeah.
This is all functional, but I saw one yesterday. Can't remember where I saw it now. I looked and I saw this old doorway in this old stone house.
Yeah.
And it was that green.
Wow.
And there was a chap up in the village where Hillman lived.
Yeah.
He lived in his mother's house. He's passed away now, and somebody's probably bought the house. But it was in its original paint, which was cream and green. That's the only two colours that were available in those days.
Really? I never knew that. It's interesting.
Oh yeah. I'll have to show you sometimes.
Yeah.
It's and I like the colour.
Yeah.
I think they go together extremely well.
Yeah, they sound complementary.
Oh, they do, and when it's weathered, that's it's got that chalky appearance. The gloss has gone,
Yeah.
and which makes it look even better. That green.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Good.
Was another one, Simon?
There's a double barrel question for the last question.
Right.
And it's, what do you like and what don't you like about your own work?
Well, I don't like the mistakes I make. No. I don't really like anything I do, as I tried to explain to you before. And yet, I can sort of appreciate that it's reasonable, a decent effort.
Yeah.
It probably comes from my childhood. But I can't say I like or dislike. Well, I'm never happy with anything I do.
Yeah.
I make, whether it's a painting or anything else. It's never perfect enough for me. It's not as good as nature, Simon.
No, we can't do that.
And that's what I'm trying to replicate.
Yeah.
So it's a bit disappointing for me.
It's a challenging question I like to ask people, and there's a South Korean artist who's very famous these days. He's an illustrator called Kim Jung-gi. And when I ask him that question, he'll only answer the what don't you like. He'll never answer what he does like. He says he doesn't like anything about it. He'll only answer what he doesn't like. and he's known as a genius in art, and he only has criticism for his own artwork. So it shows that good artists have criticism for their own work and less praise for their own work, I think. But that may not be consistent, but that's my experience. Is that
no, that's interesting, that,
healthy
because
criticism.
that's certainly me. And I totally agree. I mean, it's that challenge that drives you on, Simon.
Yeah.
You know, I was drawing when I was 2, painting when I was 6, to wide acclaim. You know, the teachers, you know, were, you know, I was painting religious scenes, the stories I was taught in Sunday school, and they couldn't believe what they were seeing. And I was painting when I was 6, and I'm still painting and drawing now, as well everything I make, even in engineering. My career was engineering, which is making things. I didn't like taking things down, you know, demolishing them.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt me badly. I like creating, but it's that challenge. You know, if you say, yeah, I like that, it's good, where's the challenge for the next one?
Yeah.
I don't think it's there. I wouldn't, I can't see it being there. And that challenge is what's kept me going.
Yeah. I do wonder if you're satisfied if you stagnate. That's what I wonder, is that, you know, if you say, I've reached my peak, I think that my work's fantastic, if you'll just stagnate in that level and you'll never push to increase and improve and try to make sure that you're challenging yourself, as you say. Well,
a few years ago, what was it? 1980s and 90s, I was employed as a graphic designer and illustrator, and I was at the top of my field then. I made the businesses a lot of money, Simon. I mean a lot of money. A lot of business people, I made them a lot of money. And I'm still striving to get back to that level. I don't know whether I will be able to. I don't think I can reach it. People could, well, my assistant, a young lady, she said, can you draw me something? I said, what do you want? She said, draw me what was it, a swan or something. So I just, like that.
Yeah.
Crikey, how did you do that, John? I said, don't know, really. I can't do it now. As I say, I gave up on drawing, and I only started again because these 2 little American girls kept asking me to draw them something to colour in, and that's what brought me back to drawing and painting. But it's like my son. He was brilliant, and then he gave up golf. Now he's gone back to it, and he's trying particularly hard, just like me, to get back to where he was in his prime, if you like.
Yeah.
I don't know whether his prime happens at a certain age or what, I don't know. But you need to get back to it. You know what you were, what you could do. Why can't I do that now?
It's a mystery.
You'll see it in some of them, when I show you some of them old poster paintings that day. Why can't I get back to that now? And I don't know. I'm still striving to. Yeah. And I think that's what pushes you forward.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honestly, from what's happened to me in the recent years, you couldn't blame me for not wanting to paint anymore. But no, it's not gonna take that away from me.
No, not if I have anything to do with it. I'll try to.
No, the drive is still there. So I've got a bit of a hiccup. I'm not doing much at the moment. I'm doing something else. But it's still there. I will do it. I know I will.
Yeah, it's just finding that kind of magic point again, that kind of Goldilocks zone almost.
Yeah, it's like the switch is going over, you know, like just wait. I gotta wait now for the switch to go. I still do a bit of drawing. I've got a few things I need to do for other people that's asked me, and I thought, well, no, and then it's happened to me. And I thought, you know, I don't like this anymore. No, I can't accept that.
No.
We can't accept these things destroying art, Simon. We can't allow it to happen.
No.
Not to ourselves, anyway.
No, it's up to us to try and rekindle that motivation again, I suppose, isn't it? And
we will do it.
Yeah. Yeah, using community, I think, helps. That's why I like these connections that we can make. And I want to thank you for being on the podcast. It's an absolute pleasure and an honour to have you on to discuss a bit of your background. We've kept it very brief, and as I've said to you before, we're going to do an artist profile, which will be a bit more extensive and show a lot more of your background and allow you to talk at greater length than what we've done in this conversation. But for this episode, I think it's been a real pleasure. I really appreciated it.
Thank you, Simon.
Oh, thank you very much.
You've been wonderful yourself.
No, I appreciate that, John.
Yeah, you're easy to talk to, Simon.
No, I really appreciate that.
You're a wonderful person. You take care of yourself, Simon.
You too. Thank you very much, John. All right.
Okay.
Send.
Bye, Simon.
Bye. Okay, so that's the episode done. Now, I really enjoyed that. I hope that you did too. I thought it was really nice to show his paintings and his drawings and the things that he'd built as well. I thought it was really interesting. I loved how he weighed up what he valued about society and life and talent. And he's very thoughtful with things like that. He often discusses those things with me. And I just thought it was really nice to be able to show the different types of works that he's made over the years and the different approaches that he has to work. It was quite different seeing his landscape work and his portrait work from his more surreal work that you see, where it's his landscapes and portraits had heightened aspects, but his other works were very dreamlike and sort of just conjured, you know, like just imagined from nowhere, or from somewhere deep inside of himself, his subconscious potentially. But I thought all that was pretty fascinating, and I really appreciated him delving into those areas and being honest with us, because he's a very honest person. So I hope you enjoyed the episode. If you did, then please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell, and I will see you in the next episode.